Combin on the air! Thanks for tuning into Instagram Growth Podcast. We love having you here, and it's our mission to bring you all of the latest and greatest tips, skills, and know-how to make you the best Instagram marketer that you can be. We know that you have it in you, and we are going to show you how. Now, let's get started! Hello everybody, and this is the 4th episode of Instagram Growth Podcast. I'm your host Anne, and today, as usually, I'll provide you with a valuable piece of advice on Instagram marketing. Today, we're talking about Instagram stories that represent one of the most prominent social media content trends of today. It is estimated that more than 300 million people watch them on a daily basis. Instagram stories are changing the way brands go about developing and executing their digital strategies. All of this has left many people wondering about the essence of their appeal. Well, to put it simply, it rests in their ephemeral nature. Short bursts of content that only last for a while trigger fear of missing out. Snapchat pioneered this format, and now Instagram is taking it a step further. The booming social media platform is perfectly geared toward compelling visual storytelling, which supports brand building and inspires action. Personality, engagement, interactivity, customization. There are just a few of the many exciting ways to describe Insta Stories. So, if Insta Stories are on your social media agenda in the near future, how can you make the most of them? Let's check it out in today's episode of Instagram Growth Podcast. But first, I'd like to direct your attention towards why you should use Instagram Stories on a regular basis for your business. I've singled out 6 most important reasons from my point of view why Instagram Stories should be utilized. So, the first one. There is an active user base with an appetite for stories. Statistics says that there are many people that like using and watching this non-typical content. And creation of non-typical stories is much easier than creation of non-typical posts, isn't it? The second reason, stories creation is a piece of cake. Let's be honest here, you'll spend less time creating a story than writing a post. It can even end up being more creative and generating more trust from your followers. Picture an interesting moment, add stickers, tag locations, say how you're feeling, and that's it. It is ready. The third reason is that Instagram Stories is a laboratory for testing ideas. Because Instagram Stories will disappear in 24 hours and you don't need to spend much time for them, they can serve you a good lab for testing your ideas. If they're popular, they will receive reactions from followers and you will save the idea to use it in traditional posts that get more exposure in future. Then, Instagram Stories is a stock of great features. Instagram is a visual editor in a sense, and the Stories section has many tools to draw, place stickers, and add beautiful filters to your content. Then, there is a huge traffic opportunity. Compared to classical posts, stories give you the opportunity to add links that can be followed. As a matter of fact, with more than 10,000 followers on Instagram and a business account, you are granted to use swipe up links. And the last reason that I've figured out is that Instagram Stories is another way to get heard. Adding stickers, tagging locations, and using hashtags will all work as a way to get discovered, will work as a way to get new followers, new potential customers, and new people joining your account. These are just 6 reasons why Instagram Stories are important if you want to grow your account or your business on Instagram. So, could you maybe think of some more reasons? If yes, let me and other listeners know in the comments what is your main reason to use Insta Stories. And now, let's move on to the main part of our today's conversation about Instagram Stories marketing. To 10 simple rules for perfect Instagram stories. 10 rules that you absolutely need to know if you want to join the show and create really killer stories. So, here we go! The first rule of perfect Instagram stories says that you need always offer something of value. Stories are not just about self-promotion, and they can definitely go way beyond sales pitches. Think of them as a platform for a wide array of fun and engaging posts. These days, a lot of brands host monthly giveaways or entire contests via Instagram Live feature. One of the most remarkable examples I have ever seen was the interactive crossword puzzle contest by Webby Parker. Creativity is the defining characteristic of a great story, and you do not have to be a trendy fashion brand in order to have success with it. You just need to discover what is likely to be perceived as valuable content. In other words, get to know your target audience before launching your stories. Dive deep into demographics, preferences, online habits, interests, and other relevant data. The second tip for today is that you need to infuse a warm human touch. Stories revolved around amazing visuals, but we are not talking about just any type of visuals. Users adore brands that show their human face and do not hide behind a corporate facade. And by being warm, I do not mean repackaging your About Us page for Instagram. You are better off joining in on the trend championed by the likes of the New York Times. This is sharing behind-the-scenes material. Restaurants can post videos of chefs preparing meals or presenting recipes. Companies can share candid employee at work photos, while sports teams may decide to reveal their innovative training methods. There are many ways to do it, but the goal remains the same: coming across as authentic and relatable and building trust with followers. Then, you should let the information flow both ways. Many brands make one common mistake on Instagram. Hang up on generating sales, they lose sight of the fact that stories are a two-way avenue. Reproducing product and service information is just a glimpse at what is possible. Leading brands recognize how important it is to start conversations and to leave enough room for followers to assume active roles in them. Users should be able to reply to stories and use the new question sticker. An additional benefit of such a transparent approach is collecting valuable customer data and informing businesses' strategies that way. Another great feature to ponder comes in the form of interactive polls, which allows users to voice their opinions on a variety of topics or test their knowledge in some niche or in some sphere. Then, do not forget that text still matters. Visuals, yes, they may be the bread and butter of the Instagram reel, but that is not to say that text is irrelevant. In fact, you could argue that it does heavy lifting more often than not. This is especially true for brands that heavily invest in blogging and other written forms of content marketing, but others should not overlook it either. Bear in mind that the tone of voice is usually warm and conversational. Stories tend to be, or at least they seem to be, more spontaneous and casual than the feed. This is more than apparent when you take a look at the copy that is paired with the many of these content pieces. It usually works as an attention-grabbing hook that invites people to swipe and read further. The fifth tip for today is that you should try disseminate information but with a twist. One of the main purposes of stories is to convey information. For instance, retail brands leverage them to announce product or collection launches and sales promotions. The next big thing in this area is probably going to be shoppable stories. As for other businesses, they post product, frequently ask questions, gather insights of what consumers would like to see, and then share handy tutorials. Etsy is killing it with tutorials on Instagram, by the way, so you can take advantage and learn from the best. Here, stories can act as a natural extension of feed posts and powerful promotion tools for driving sales. The trick, though, is not to be perceived as boring and uninventive. So, add a playful twist to the mix. It can be anything from a quality image to some humor. Google Maps has shown us how this is done. It has managed to breathe life into its stories with user-generated shots of striking locations. Great example. The sixth tip is named Grasp the Bigger Picture. Stories are not some sort of temporary, buzzworthy content that exists in a vacuum. Creating stories is a great way to extend the reach of content assets and amplify brand messages. Therefore, professional digital marketing agencies point out to the role that bigger picture and overarching narrative play. We're talking about the whole Instagram feed and other branded real estate. The basic rule to follow is to make the content reflect the aesthetics that outline your marketing collateral and online presence, website, blog, and other social media. Similarly, you need to pay attention to your social media calendar. Quality of stories is paramount, but due to their short-lived nature, it is also important to earn a place on people's screen with new content over and over again. Talking about tip number 7, we will come back to the fact that stories are so alluring due to their habit to expire quickly. While you should not even try to change this, there are ways to cheat death. For example, if you manage to strike a chord with the audience, you can save the story to your story highlights. This feature allows your content to live on and continue to captivate followers. Another option is to include links to longer forms of content which can be consumed on other platforms. This means that a story can serve as a gateway to the more in-depth digital experience. As such, it complements your content marketing efforts across all the channels even more when you promote and boost your posts. Then, tip number 8 says that you need to make the most of hashtags and call to actions. Hashtags are an invaluable tool for crafting impactful Instagram stories. They allow prospects to easily find your content. There are no hard rules when it comes to picking up a hashtag, but you do need to know that Instagram sets a limit to 30 hashtags per post. Moreover, research has revealed that creating too many does more harm than good, reducing average interactions. Moving on, a call to action is another key component of a stellar story, which can be added in the caption or the post itself. It is supposed to encourage people to share, comment on, and interact with your post in other ways. You can also ask them to make a purchase, but do not be blatant about it. Remember, first you offer value, and then you seek something in return. The 9th tip for today says that you need to show content variety without losing consistency. The main challenge is not to put together one amazing story, but to keep things fresh and exciting over a long haul. Well, to really make waves in a crowded landscape, you need to set yourself apart from the cohorts of other similar brands. You can do so by employing different content types and alternating between them, while also maintaining visual consistency. Original content is the main building block of stories, whether it is an upbeat music playlist for working out or a pop culture quiz. Easy-to-digest listicles are all the rage in the recent years, and brands like the National Geographic use them to maximum potential. We're also witnessing more and more episodic series of content, so experiment with these content types and think outside the box. And the last tip for today is to measure success. For good measure, you should check how well your stories are doing. But before that, there needs to be a set of key performance indicators in place. Is your goal to get in touch with new audiences, improve engagement rates, drive sales, maximize social signals, build brand awareness, or attract traffic to a website? Once these priorities are sorted out, it's time to select your analytical tools. You can easily check out the list of users who viewed individual posts with the story via Instagram Story Analytics under Insights button. But there are numerous other tools that stand at your disposal. Feel free to research and find the one that suits your business needs to the best. You should be able to gain insights and use them to fine-tune your strategy for the future. So, Instagram stories are here to stay and rock one of the biggest social hubs of today. Jumping on the bandwagon unprepared is not advisable. You want to get familiar with best practices and trends fueling the proliferation of this content format. Propelled by insights, look beyond merely highlighting your offers and bragging about how great you are. Likewise, refrain from merely cycling and wrapping out generic information in a visually appealing package. Instead, explore creative ways of utilizing stories and connecting with the target audience on a deeper level. Get personal and intimate, and make sure your followers are in the know. Provide real value to cultivate loyalty and spread brand awareness. All your efforts should empower you to elevate digital marketing efforts and keep people constantly coming back for more. If interested, you can also watch the replay of my live webinar on how to integrate stories into your Instagram marketing, where you will see real-life examples of brands killing it on Instagram with Insta Stories and many stories content ideas. I'll place a link to the description of this episode. Thanks for being with me today. Thanks for listening to the 4th episode of Instagram Growth Podcast. Hope you enjoyed this episode and this time with me. Hear you in 2 weeks' time. Have a good day. Goodbye. This is a podcast sponsored by Combine.com. Grow and manage your Instagram safely and organically with Combine Growth and Combine Scheduler. Instagram promotion is easy. Combine.com.